Welcome back. Diet motivation, how to keep it when things get tough. See if you can relate to this. Saw it online. I'm having trouble staying motivated. I started my diet 3 weeks ago and I'm getting tired of it already. My goal is to lose 50 pounds. I'm using a calorie tracking app and a step counter. I was very motivated and optimistic in the beginning, keeping my calorie intake under 1300, drinking plenty of water, but I've been getting more frustrated. The scale hasn't moved and I'm always hungry. Eating out with friends and family feels like torture or a chore. What am I supposed to eat that won't leave me still hungry and won't go over my calorie limit? This is so much harder than I expected. I can't even order my usual coffee at the cafe because it's loaded with calories. Please help. So, in this video, I'm going to break it down for you so you understand how to stay motivated in a way that suits your lifestyle and so you can lead a healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams. If it's your first time here, my name is Reggie. I'm the founder of Fit for Freelance. I help business owners lose weight and feel their best without crash diets or guilt. If you're having a hard time with motivation, staying optimistic, staying on track with your diet, and you're wondering how you can do better for yourself, I've got the Live Online Scorecard link below with a quiz. 3-minute quiz is free. It gives you exactly what you should do next. Now, when it comes to this, something that I immediately want to note is eating out with friends and family feels like torture or a chore. That's a huge red flag that your diet is not a good match for the life that you want to live or anything really. Like, you don't want social events that you would ordinarily enjoy to be held back by restrictive diet plans that you have pretty much invented. So click like if that's a big message for you. Pay attention to that. Anytime you go out, eating with friends and family should be a good time for you. All right. And what happens if you are on a weight loss journey, you're having a hard time with it, then what that does is that punishes you for your weight loss journey. And it makes it harder for you to follow through because what happens, you can just enjoy those things anytime. But now that you're on a diet, you feel like you can't do those things. So the feedback, the consequence of you being on a diet is that you can't do things that you want. And that means it's almost like you are being tortured or doing chores for doing things to improve your health and help you lose weight. And it's because your approach isn't favorable. I would say it's not one that you want to use. So what we want to do is take a different look at this so it's easier to follow through with your weight loss plans and you don't have to miss out on enjoying yourself or your family and friends, right? Because that crushes your motivation and optimism, which is what this person said they were struggling with. Big question that I believe, and I talk about on the channel, when you are picking your weight loss goals or health journey goals, base it on what you want the healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams to look like. Now, anytime you're doing this, when you pick something that matches what you want, then it's easy to do that. It's or not easy. It's more simple, more straightforward, more enjoyable because it's something that is part of the life that you want to build. And you feel better about yourself. You feel confident. You feel in control. You feel like you are making your own plans and following through with them. If you don't ask this question, then you're likely to pick up things that you've heard along the way or things that might not make sense for you in your life and what you want. And then you could be off track and get stuck. And then you feel bad. You start asking people online what you should do about it. Just focus on this question, and that's a big first step for you. Next point I want to make: health and weight loss journeys don't primarily depend on motivation and optimism. So this person, it's very common to think that, okay, I'm starting it out like in New Year's in general, right? Or New Year's resolution, or anytime you're starting a new project, you are full of optimism and joy and you feel like you can do anything, right? But as you run into obstacles, you start to second guess yourself and wonder, like, is this really for me? Is this what I want to do? Is this a good fit? And then it gets more difficult. So your health and weight loss journeys can feel like that if you pick it based on the optimism and how you're feeling. And the problem with that is when you do things based on how you're feeling when it comes to your health, then you have to make sure that you set it up so you feel good when you do it, or you can reason and justify it. And that makes it more difficult. So what we want to do is look beyond that and look into the bigger picture of what's going on with these health changes. Is based on your context, on the context of your lifestyle, the system, surroundings, habits, choices that you make. All right. Another way to look at this is that when you weren't thinking about your health habits or you were eating however you were and whatever activity levels, environment, and genetics you had to lead the weight gain that you're now trying to lose, you weren't particularly motivated or optimistic. You were just living, right? And what we want to do is shift the weight change, the weight loss plans, so that they don't rely on motivation optimism. Because the default is just like, yeah, I'm living my life and this is what contributes to the life that I want to live. I'm building it up as it goes. And you are ultimately a consequence of those genetics, environments, and habits. So think about that. Instead of relying on optimism to make changes, think about your environment and what's going on around you now and how you can adjust that so you don't have to rely on whimsical things that can fluctuate, right? If you want to change your old habits, it makes sense to clarify your vision. Like I was talking about, what does a healthy, fulfilling life of your dream look like? Then you can plan those contexts that I was talking about. When you know what the healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams looks like, that big picture, then you can choose the systems and surroundings and be in situations that make that healthy life easier and the life that you enjoy more and more easier as well. All right. Next, more common sense, or not only common sense, but the simpler things to look at. Make sure that your rate of weight loss and calorie targets are realistic. People tend to forget this and they'll pick up random numbers around the way. And it's easier to be realistic when your calorie target is based on your previous habits, not just a low number that you saw somewhere, maybe MyFitnessPal or some app, or you just decide to eat as little as possible. And that's the number you end up with, because that's how you end up feeling hungry, because your calories that you're eating now in your weight loss journey don't match the calories that you're used to or the calories that your body needs at its current weight. And so your body's going to signal to you that you're hungry based on that. There's nothing wrong with you for feeling hungry. If you, like, in general, there's nothing wrong with you. And there's nothing wrong with you for feeling hungry. And it's nothing wrong with you for getting the consequences of not feeding your body enough energy, and it gives you feedback that you're hungry. Like, that's just natural physiology. So keep that in mind. Be realistic with your calorie target. And a big thing with this person, they said they want to lose 50 pounds. So usually if you want to lose 50 pounds, you might have some extra weight. And if you have a lot of extra weight, then you're going to have a higher total daily energy expenditure calculation, which means that your baseline calorie needs are going to be higher than 1300 usually, right? And even like your baseline calorie needs minus 500 calories is going to be more than 1300. And so what happens is when you create a huge deficit from what your body needs, you're going to get that hunger experience, and that's going to make everything a lot more difficult for you, because your rates of weight loss and your calorie targets may not be realistic. So that's the context of this. When you pick a calorie target that's too low, it might not be enough. That can create a lot of challenges that you don't need on your weight loss journey. If you're already trying to make changes that are not necessarily straightforward, easy to make, they take a lot of awareness and understanding and creating the right systems for you, then you want to make sure you have the right context for it. Cover this a little bit before in my video is linked below about picking calorie targets. I'll put that below. And if you are wondering, like, okay, what can I do to build this motivation? You don't have to rely on motivation, but to get that health habit score and personalized tips so you can understand more about your context and environment when it comes to how you eat, move, and think about your health, that's what the Live Aligned scorecard is, that's linked below. Let me know what you think in the comments about this. This is pretty much how you stay motivated, is by looking at the context of your motivation and what you really want and how you really want to live. All right, next you can watch video. Is your favorite coffee blocking your weight loss? This person said they couldn't get their favorite coffee, so I decided to make a separate video. I'm gonna record it. I'll put it right here. So that's today's message. As always, keep practicing. Peace.